So my point is we have to start challenging our people to think outside of the box. But it's war to do that. When you start thinking outside the box, you're now talking about war. Because people constantly want to get you back in the box. No, but blah, blah, blah said this. I don't know about that now. Right, you don't know about it. You don't know about it. But doesn't mean it's not knowable. But that's what I mean when I say once you start challenging these different thought systems and institutions, that's the minute they try to push you back into the boxes. Not realizing that the very existence of their institutions were manifested from people who jumped out of them boxes. You get your electricity and that from Edison, who jumped out of the box. He jumped out of the box and went and stole something from Kemet. And he used that, and that's how we got our electricity now. Everybody know he got that from the Ankh. Come on. The electromagnetic energy. He stepped outside of the box. So today, in order to see our condition change, we must be willing to step outside of the box with our thinking. And we can't just keep referring to people that are referring to people. For example, I'll give you an example. The guy, whatever his name is, I don't know whether it was Nicky Barnes or Frank Lewis, according to the documentary, one of them could not even count. Could you believe it? They only could have their money, know how much money they had by weighing it. Ain't that interesting? That's deep. So here it is, this big tycoon, this big economic vampire who amasses all this wealth in Harlem can damn near count. But we stress, oh, your children got to count 1 through 10. But the person that can sell all these people that's counting, they count real well. They counting the heroin when they buying it and using it, though. They probably counted a lot better than him, didn't they? They knew exactly how much money they had to go buy their heroin. He barely could count the money he was getting, and he ruled over the entire community. So that's what I'm saying, that when we start getting too caught up in thinking that it's education. Some of us, genetically, even us as a black people, and this is going to be heavy for some people, we represent different species of black people. We don't realize that black people exist in species. And I'm not speaking against nationalism, of us all being the same people and us all originating from the same place. That's a given. We stand Pan-Africanist with this. But some of us black people represent different species within that Pan-African reality. They're different species of us. Some of us in a species were kings and warriors, were warrior tribes. Some of us represent those tribes, and we come right back to the earth in the realization of that. We didn't get that from school. Do you see the point I'm making? And some people were of that same stock, but they've been so medicated. You see the point I'm making? With pharmaceutical drugs, with cocaine and alcohol, so medicated with the European society, so medicated and domesticated by his education system that the DNA is suppressed. Do you see the point I'm making? They think that it's a problem, that it's our time to shine, that the ancestors have returned. That's a problem. I'm not fitting in. Well, you shouldn't fit in if you're the return of Shaka Zulu. You shouldn't fit in if you're the return of Genghis Khan and Kublai Khan, of Mansa Musa. You should not want to fit in if you're Queen of Sheba. Do you see the point I'm making? If you're Nefertiti, you should not want to fit in, because your spirit is not that of a slave, of a colonialized being. Someone you can walk over and step over that's not going to manifest their divinity in this here life. You should not want to fit in. Your spirit should not be in alignment with the people who've decided they're going to become rugs for the European. You should feel uncomfortable about that if that's where your spirit is coming from. Do you know what I'm making? So some of us are from that different species. And that is going to manifest. Some of us, you're not going to be able to medicate. You're not going to be able to suppress that. You're not going to be able to institutionalize that. That's an example of, they said with the movie King Kong, that King Kong was really supposed to represent the black man in America. That we was that Kong. You know what I'm saying? We was that gorilla. That was us. And not speaking of the gorilla as some undeveloped primitive animal, but I'm talking about it from the jungle, from the nature, rooted, strong. That was who we are. And that he wanted to institutionalize this huge beast, this Nubian, melanated, gorilla,